And now for the Q&A.
Here's a question from Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Derek says, I have been listening to the pod for the past year or so. I finally took matters into my own hands the past 9 weeks. I basically cut out most of carbs for the past 9 weeks and ate 100% clean and lost approximately 35 pounds.
Nice.
He says, I was wondering, this was probably mostly because of being in a calorie deficit and ketosis partially. Now I'm wanting to start to introduce carbs a bit. What would be the best way to do so? How would you go about that? Thank you.
Okay, I want to say that fat loss is all because you're in a calorie deficit. So the scheme that you use to get into that deficit doesn't matter. The part that is applicable to significance in mattering is that you did it, you were able to do it, it made it more bearable for you, so that it matters on an individual basis like that. Ketosis does not equal fat loss. um, Ketosis is just like the type of fuel your body's using. So if you are able to consume less fuel while in ketosis, then there you go. Then it's beneficial to you. Here's what I want you to know. Carbohydrates hold liquid in your muscles. Glycogen as a liquid, water. It's all mixed with water, and the carbohydrate clings to that, and it goes in your muscle, and it's stored in your muscle as fuel. So doesn't matter what carbohydrates you reintroduce, if you increase them, you're going to see a rise on the scale because your muscles are more energized, and it happens at like uh 1 gram of carbohydrate in your system can hold, I think, 4 grams of glycogen. That just the water sticks to it, and then it goes and it's deposited in your muscle as energy. If you think about like how you could have a salty meal one night and retain water, but that's not going to be stored in your muscle. That's going to be stored subcutaneously, and you're going to be puffy and bloated. Carbohydrates hold a ton more water. So you would actually see a higher rise on the scale. So my point in saying this is you may see the scale tick up because you introduce carbohydrates. Doesn't mean you're gaining weight. Okay. I could eat, you know, 500 grams of carbohydrates today, see a big increase on the scale tomorrow, and not have actually stored any fat at all. That's possible. Um, Also, you cannot, if you see like a 5 pound increase on the scale, your body can't actually store 5 pounds of fat in a day. Not possible. So that's something to keep in mind. When you reintroduce carbs, know that the scale is probably going to go up. Don't freak out. It's water, it's energy stored in your muscles, unless you go absolutely apeshit crazy and eat 35,000 calories in a day. And then, yeah, your body's going to, there's going to be some fat storage too. So, depending on your muscle mass, that is how much your body can take in carbohydrates as a storage mechanism of energy before they spill over and start storing as fat. So there's like a pretty big amount. You could probably get away with eating 300 or 400 grams of carbohydrates in a day, as long as your total calories are still uh, balanced, without storing them as fat. Um, the way you do that is completely unique and up to you. I don't think there's any system that's necessarily proven to be better than another. I don't like eating processed sugar, but there have been times where I'm at the gym and I'm lightheaded and I'll go and drink a Gatorade and I'll feel better, and I'll account for that in my day's energy, and I don't gain any fat. So you want to eat a sweet potato? Fine. You want to eat some fruit? Fine. You want to eat a Snickers bar? Fine. Just make sure that your total energy intake is not way up, and be aware that any carbohydrates is going to take glucose and glycogen and store it in your muscles. And so, you might see an increase on the scale because of that.
Copy that. Thank you so much for your question. And thanks everybody who sends in questions. If you've got a question for Ethan, you can email it hello@americanglutton.net.